Morning, Trainiacs. Main tank is open again, but they're having a press conference over there right now, so we aren't allowed in there. This month is all about the triathlon masterclasses, and I have yet to announce this, but we're announcing it now. We kind of talked about it on the podcast that we did at New Year's. Sarah True and her husband Ben True, both Olympians, both awesome runners, are taking over the How to Run in Triathlon Masterclass. I'm going to show you both their running today. We'll also show you the pool. Rib still hurts. Seriously bruised it over the holidays on a fat bike ride. Still hurts, like 3.5 weeks later. So that was a fun little swim with Hannah, a local Winnipegger who is actually going to school in McGill. Shout out to the McGill Tri Club. She's a good swimmer. 3 years into the sport, I could not drop her. All right, pools. So this pool here is called the training tank. 50 meters, and they switched the bulkhead about February to being a long course pool. In between about October and February, they put the bulkhead halfway, and it is two 25-meter pools, but it's cold. It's made for the speed swimmers, for the training that they do to, boom, get really fast, so they keep it quite cool, not so great for us non-speed swimmers. But over here has been closed the entire time, so this is where you've seen me. Not anymore. It just opened. Over here, main tank. It is long course, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's also kept a fair bit warmer. Tuesday, Thursday, short course yards. And they've done a lot of work. You see that? Oh, it looks so nice. What they've done is, if you've been around for a long time, you know that a lot of my footage here was very green, kind of yellow, a little bit of orange. That's because all the lighting here was so dark that the camera was showing a lot of noise, so it would pixelate and it would turn green. Not anymore. Also, all of this, all along the sides here, is soundproofing. So instead of it being all echoey in here, it's quiet. I like it. I'm a fan, big fan of this side of the pool, huge. All right, let's talk about Sarah and Ben True. So Sarah and Ben True, potentially some of the most fast husband and wife athletes out there on the circuit. I'm trying to think. Lucy and Reese, they're pretty good. The Wortels, they're pretty good. I don't know, Ben True might have the trump card. He, at one point, might even still be the 5K American record holder. Let me give you some times. Sarah True, you know Sarah, she's been on the YouTube channel many a time, been on the podcast once. Two-time Olympian, 4th at the Ironman World Championships, 2nd at her Ironman debut at Ironman Frankfurt, is dropping it like it's hot all over the long distance triathlon scene. Husband Ben, top American at the 2011 and 2013 World Cross Country Championships. 5,000 meter personal best of 13 minutes and 2 seconds. 10,000 meter personal best of 27 minutes, 41 seconds, and winner of the 2018 New York City Half Marathon. They are very good athletes. And when I reached out to Sarah, I said, hey, I like you. You're fun. And would you like to let me stick a camera in your face a little bit more? And you and Ben can tag team teaching a how to run triathlon masterclass. And she responded with, heck yes. As fun as it is to come up with a project like this and get it out there into the world, she's like, it's probably more important to pass on the knowledge that they've gained, because over the course of multiple Olympic trials, multiple Olympic runs, now getting into the Ironman distance, and then between the two of them, as Sarah put it, this is a really good point, as we were talking back and forth about what we were going to teach in the masterclass. And I quote from Sarah True, "Cool beans. One thing I think that would be really helpful is having a discussion about approaching running as a triathlete versus a runner." Sarah versus Ben. "A lot of us come into the sport as single sport athletes, and it's really important to talk about load, how fitness between sports is transferable, the different physiological demands, etc. What's helpful about our approach is that we keep things really simple and try to nail the basics, something that's important at any level." Well said, Sarah. So just like we did with the Lucy Charles and Reese Barkley How to Swim series, if you go to triathlontaren.com/early masterclass, I'll set up a spot there that you can go and for half price, $45 versus the $90 that it's going to be when it comes out, get in on this half off deal. And then when you get in on that half off deal, there is only going to be 50 spots. Those people will be able to ask Sarah and Ben questions. So getting in, you get it for cheaper, and you can actually get your running questions answered by a couple of the best out there. Let me show you their running techniques. It's pretty impressive. All right, so this is some footage here of when we went and watched Sarah run and do a 12 times 400 meter track workout down in Scottsdale. I want you to take a look at a few things. Number one, look at how fast her turnover is when she starts doing her fast efforts. Tick, 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 tick. That's a slow effort right there. And then the second thing that I want you to look at is this is a perfect angle of it. Look at how much she is driving those elbows back. What we want to see in a really big stride, when you start opening it up or when you start getting tired towards the end of a long workout, you want to use your elbows to almost load up the tension across the front of your body. So watch how far back she drives both of her elbows. Forward, not a ton, but back immensely. You see this here at a slightly lower pace. But what happens is, we'll show you right there. At the furthest point back, carrying that elbow as far back as you can creates a bunch of tension across the front of the body in a good way that ends up essentially loading up your trailing leg so that when you start springing forward, it's like a slingshot. It starts snapping itself. So a lot of people they run like this and focus on the forward. In her case, she's doing it perfectly, running with focusing on the elbows back. She might tell me that I'm wrong in a couple weeks when I go there. All the mid and forefoot runners will love seeing this. Her running at a nice slow pace, warming up, landing on her mid and forefoot. I just like this shot right here. Then you can see here really, really well how on top of her toes she is and how big of a drive she's got with those elbows that create that snap with the leg that ends up coming forward. She was doing an average of, can you guess what she was doing for 400 meters? I'll pause right now just for a second and you comment below, how fast do you think she was going for 400 meters? I'll skip. Right there, she averaged over the course of 12 400 meter intervals, 75 seconds. That equates to why can't I do math right now? A 5-minute mile. Not crazy fast, but when you think that at this point she was training for an Ironman, her first Ironman, when you'd think, maybe you should be backing off a little bit. She's still banging out 12 400s. You try to do 12 400s at 75 seconds. It's fast. Let me show you Ben True. Now, you want to talk about real pure runners, like actual track athletes and how fast they can go? Look at this. Ben is number 2, the guy in the black and red shirt. And this is perfect. Like, this is just a sight to behold. Man. So we want to look at something here. And sure, we don't have the flexibility in our hips and our quads to get a stride that is that far in behind us with all this stretch all the way down. A lot of us are going to have tight hip flexors at the front from sitting all day at a desk. We're not going to be able to have that big stride, but a couple of things that we can take are, again, look at this. Look at how far back his elbow is pushing to end up creating that tension. Look at how his body has a forward lean and how he lands basically directly underneath his center of gravity with ears over top of shoulders, over top of hips, more or less over top of knees, over top of ankles, and over top of your landing point, so that your skeletal structure, as opposed to your muscles and soft tissues, are absorbing the load of landing. Good stuff, Ben. Good stuff. And then look at him here from the front. This is him winning the New York City half marathon. You can see that big elbow drive in behind on both sides. You can see how he's landing on his forefoot, just getting right up on the toes. You can see how he doesn't really cross over the center line, even though he's basically maxed totally out. And watch how he finishes at the end of a 1:02 half marathon. Like fire or lightning. He's fast. So what are the things that we're going to be talking about? Give you a brief overview of what we are going to do in the How to Run Masterclass with Sarah and Ben. As I mentioned, how the differences are when you approach running as a triathlete versus running as a runner. The key things required to run fast. Is it training? Is it the amount of fast stuff versus long stuff? Or is it the technique? What is that? How to run specifically for triathlon. Sarah, when we were talking to her once, she says it's a strength run as opposed to a speed run in ITU. What does that mean? How do you build strength as a runner? They're running setups. What do they use for shoes for different runs? What do they use for shoes in races? What's the gear that they use for watches and heart rate monitors or pacing, things like that? And how do they set those things up to supplement their training? Training with zones. Do they use pace? Do they use splits? Do they use heart rate? Do they use power? They may be using a stride running power meter. Nutrition during runs. And creating a year-long running program, and then their favorite running workouts. All this is what we're going to be talking about. So go to triathlontaren.com/early masterclass. And if you want to learn to run from some of the best out there, Sarah and Ben True, you can get in on it for half price, $45, and a whole lot of positive vibes from me, and get some of your questions answered. Just 50 spots. All right, Trainiacs, there we go. We are getting geared up over here, all packed up to end up going out for basically all of January to produce all of these master classes, and it's going to be fun. I think what we're going to do is a pro cribs, if they'll let me into their hotel room to show that off. All right, later, Trainiacs.